This is the update for Am I Overreacting? My husband says he owns me and I want out. This is 1 month later. Sorry, this is going to be long. After reading, reflecting, and listening to Lundy Bancroft and Dr. John Delaney a few days ago, I decided to pack up myself, the kids, and stay with family. I had family and police on standby to ensure our safety. I do want to thank those of you that provided constructive and wise advice and assistance. I am actively working on a plan. Some commenters said on my previous post they thought I was taking things out of proportion or that I just wanted out before the recent incident. In a way, that's true, but only because the recent incident was just a small glimpse into a much larger pattern. Here's a little more context. There have been many times when my husband became frustrated, often when I would ask him for more assistance around the house or assistance with the kids. I became his emotional punching bag. As our kids grew older, at least old enough to speak, they too became targets of his outrage. He's been verbally and emotionally abusive. Please understand, this behavior wasn't present before marriage. I wouldn't have married him if it was. Over the years, I've been called degrading names, threatened with violence, and my kids and I have been put in unsafe situations. He once threatened to me if I cheated. I never did. Tried to throw boiling water at me during an argument because I wanted more help with housekeeping and responsibilities being a parent. Many times he drove dangerously with myself and the children in the car because he was angry about me wanting him to turn down the car radio or change the song. Even screamed obscenities at our children, stating that I was a slut and a bitch. His usual names for me during his fights. Again, these are just snippets. There's so much more to my reality to which he denies these things ever occurred. He scared me early on, so I knew how to handle communication to keep from escalating. I did the absolute best I could and smiled and joked with my children after he just yelled at me in front of them many times. We also had discussions about how it wasn't okay to speak to people in those ways. I was always protecting the kids from his anger and patching things up after escalations and trying to make sure they knew the kind of behavior was not okay. Okay, OP, for this sentence right here, I'm going to tell you you're the asshole. You cannot say I was always protecting the kids from his anger if you stayed in the situation that kept having the anger pop up. So if you kept staying there, knowing that his anger was spilling off onto your children because you could fix it after by having a talk, no, you are an asshole for that portion because you allowed your children to be collateral damage to your husband's behavior. When my husband would escalate, I'd leave the room and try to avoid him, but he'd chase me down and continue standing over me, attacking me with his threats and insults. Eventually, I began leaving when these situations would arise. I'd grab the kids and leave. One time I tried leaving and he locked us in the garage for several minutes. After I birthed our youngest baby, he called me fat and a bitch because I didn't feel well and looked pissed off even though I didn't say or do anything. All I did was exit the shower and enter the bedroom to change. Little did we know, I was very ill with an undiagnosed autoimmune disease brought on by stress. Oh, honey, what is it, colitis? I will forever struggle with the silent disease that arose from this part of my life. Anyway, when I tried to push him out of the room to get him to stop because he wouldn't stop tearing me down, he shocked me as he responded by rearing back and open hand shoving my shoulder so hard that my body hit the bed rails nearby and slammed to the floor. The whole house shook. I was dumb enough to think I could get him away from me, but I was smart enough to at least take pictures of the carpet burns and red marks on my body after he stepped over me and slammed the door behind him as he stormed out. I know what you're thinking. Should have left sooner. Yep. And call me stupid if you must. You already did, so I won't. But I was scared. Scared of what he might do to me. Do to our children. Just scared of retaliation because I knew what he was capable of, and those threats were scary. Correct, but if you were in that much fear, that is the exact reason why you needed to leave and not stay. The more you're around him, the more chances it was for those things to happen. So staying actually increased the odds of that happening more often. Just saying. Even now, after finally leaving, I still worry about what could happen next. I'm terrified because statistics and research say that this is the most dangerous part for DV survivors. I don't recognize the person he's become, or maybe I just never really knew who he truly was. He broke my trust, made me feel unloved, made me feel worthless, made me feel so alone, just broke me in so many ways and so many times. I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm hurt. My heart shatters for my children, but my focus now is to protect them and for us all to find healing and peace. Even him. I hope he gets the help he needs. I always wanted to be the mother and a wife, but now I think I've sworn off marriage. Never again will I let someone take so much away from me. I just can't stop worrying about the future for my children. So what's next? Therapy? Lots of therapy? Yes, OP. Not only for yourself, but for your children. You guys are going to need individual therapy to work out your own individual traumas from the situation, but you're also going to need a little bit of group therapy because depending on what the ages of your children are, they can develop some resentment against you for not making a change sooner. Or if they're too young and don't understand the situation, they might have resentment towards you for leaving their father. I don't think they need to know all the details of what was just between you and him because they are children. At the same time, anything that affected them, you absolutely need to get them some form of assistance. I wish you nothing but the best.